morning and welcome to MicroMoment Monday. Today we're going to do two things and I'm really excited about both of them. First of all, we're going to revisit our Tattler experiment where exactly a year ago today on Halloween, we canned up 30 pints of vegetables using the Tattler ring, and I'll explain that when we get to that. And we're going to give it a year to see if those would last out in our food storage area for a year. And then the second thing that we're going to do is we are going to resurrect a Yeti. That sounds pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to that too. Before we get into either of those, though, I just wanted to let you know that Jim has been so diligent over the past few days. We have a couple of really jerks who are getting on our site and who are harassing women, wanting to strike up friendships and asking for you to contact them. And I know none of you would fall for that garbage, but we don't even want it on our channel. And so Jim has spent several hours going through and he has reported that every single time we have an incident of that, we will report it. So we're trying to keep the channel safe and comfortable for everyone. All right, so let's get into the business. Happy last day of October, which is the same thing as Halloween in the United States, which I just learned is the second most lucrative holiday that we celebrate here. So in any case, Halloween is special for us this year because it was exactly a year ago when we started our Tattler experiment. So let me just, for those of you that might be joining us for the first time, go over exactly what we did. It was a year ago, and canning lids, these flats, were quite difficult to find, and especially people were getting so many of their jars that did not seal. Now, I have a ton. I mean, literally this whole, and I have more too, this whole pot full of these flats that have been used once. Flats or lids, as they are called, depends. And we're not supposed to reuse these. This sealing compound is supposed to be used only one time, and I respect that. But Tattler, a company that puts out a plastic lid and gasket combination, and this is their, I ended up buying 100 of their gaskets, and then the company quit doing it because there was a run on their gaskets after we started this a year ago. So what we decided to do, and this was at a suggestion from one of our viewers, which I thought was just brilliant, we put the gasket in the place of the sealing compound here, and then we would can whatever we're going to can and put the lid on, and we would run it through the processing time, and this was pressure canning. So we did originally 30 pints of these vegetables. Now we have a couple of pints of baby limas, 6 of corn, and all of the rest are carrots. Now we ended up with 28, and the reason that we only have 28 to test today, to give our final test, is that last December I was quite sick and Jim was doing our meals, and he just went out and picked up a couple of pints of these vegetables for one of our meals. Now I had them marked with this T right here for Tattler, and that tells me that this one has one of those Tattler gaskets. And so we're short 2, but we are now going to do the test. So I want to give you the sound of what a lid that is not sealed sounds like. So this is the one that we just put together. See that hollow thud sound? This is some tomato sauce that I did a couple of weeks ago that did not seal. And this is just some grated cheese that I have in the refrigerator in a canning jar with a lid that I didn't process at all, but it's not sealed. So those are different sounds. Now, let's go ahead and do, here we go, the final test on these lids. And this is what it sounds like when it's sealed. And so, if all of them sound like that, we have cause to celebrate. Whoop. Hooray! Celebration! What's the what have you done? So that's Jim joining the party. Oh, hooray, hooray. So this is 100% successful. And I'm so glad to know that. Since we have run this experiment, Tattler has come out with metal lids that are now reusable with their gasket. I wonder where they got that idea. And I'm happy for them. I think it's a great move. And theirs have a little button that pops up and down. So when it's sealed, it pops down and it's very clear. So I should probably try those because I made an enemy of that company when I first did this experiment. So we are at the end of our Tattler experiment, and now we get to open these and use them, and I'm very excited about that. Okay, the number 2 thing that we're going to do today is we're going to resurrect a Yeti. So we're going to clear the deck and we'll come right back. Okay, so this is the portion where we're going to resurrect the Yeti. And the Yeti that I am talking about is this Goal Zero Yeti 150. And you may remember, those of you that watched a previous video where I talked about this is a little inverter that it has a wall plug, and we can charge this up, and have had this for probably 8 years. And it, at the top of its game, was really good and very much appreciated. It's a dinosaur now. And we just got the baby blue, and I was toying about getting a second one because right now in our Amazon store, they are a really good price because Amazon is giving a $60 off coupon on the baby blue, and I almost got another one. And then I read a post from one of our viewers who said, because I had said, we're going to have to just toss this. And she said, don't toss it, you can replace the battery. And I thought, what? You can replace a battery? I went to my favorite place to do research, which is, of course, the internet, Googled it, and sure enough, for $36, I got a brand new battery for this. And so even though it's a bit of a dinosaur, in a power outage, it will work. Now, this is only an 80-watt inverter, and it does not have a true sine wave. It has a modified sine wave. But even, in fact, and I explain all of that in one of our previous videos on solar where we talk about, in fact, I think I talked about that one in our Baby Blue Yeti video that we just posted last week. But even so, this will be a help, and for $36, it's worth it. I have watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to do this. So this is a hex key. I'm just removing the 4 corner fasteners. Jim pre-loosened them a little bit, and then I came along and pre-loosened them a little bit more. And this thing is deader than a doornail. And then supposedly this lid just lifts right off, and it did. Here are the connectors. So I'm just going to pull those loose, go in here, and
there you go.
No, it didn't come. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Put these out, and then just lift this battery out. That was a little bit more of an ordeal than I could not do it. I could not lift this battery out by myself because it has, do you see how much it's swollen? It's just lumpy everywhere. And so it had pushed against the sides so tightly that Jim couldn't get it out either, and we finally just dumped it upside down and shook it a little bit, and it came out on the countertop. So there is the old one, and we're glad to have that one gone. All right, now we're going to open up the new one. So here is the new one, all nice and flat on all sides. It is a Mighty Max. Mighty Max, isn't that the same as our cart? Wasn't it a Mighty Max, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm just going to drop this one right, and it's heavy. This is where the weight for this little thing comes from. It's about 12 pounds. All right, so now it is in place. Let's pull off these little plastic covers. And then just slide this in, and it snaps, and slide this in, and it snaps. Woohoo! So do we have anything on the front? Did anything light up?
You had to turn it on first.
Well, I think I'm going to cover it up first. I see no life, so it may be dead. That battery may have caused some other damage because of all of the swelling that it had, but I don't see anything at all. No life at all. Sadly, we did not resurrect the Yeti. So I am bummed. We are at the end of what we know about doing things like this. So we have checked the leads, we've unplugged it and plugged it in. We took the leads off and put them back on again. We took the battery out. We looked at everything. We did not see any loose wires anywhere. I have a son who lives nearby who, if it can be resurrected, he'll be able to take a look. I just think a couple of things may have happened. This battery, the way it has kind of exploded out all the way around, may have damaged some of the other components, or because we had to work so hard to get this battery out, we may have pulled something loose. So, you know, that's life. Some things work and some things don't, but we've had a good experience at least trying to do this. The battery was $36. I'm going to wait for a while. I can always return that battery, but in any case, I think it was worth $36 to try. So we may end up getting a second baby blue anyway. In any case, that is the end of today's micro moment. We learned a few things. We had one success and one not success. So thanks for being with us, and we will see you next Monday for another micro moment.